Okay. Oh, okay. Otherwise, I was going to say she might need the lipstick, chapstick, labia balm.
Yep.
If it were.
Yeah.
Good, I guess. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Right on.
Good for both of them.
Good luck. Yeah. Have fun with that. Have you guys ever heard of the Hodari Festival in Japan?
Is it the penis one?
The big penis parade?
Yeah. Penis party.
It is freaking, the pictures are fantastic. I mean, these are big. Okay, you know the one at the Gay 90s, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that looks like child's play compared to the things that these women are writing in these. And this is in Nagaoka. And they do, it's a penis festival on the second Sunday of each March. These women that have been married in the past 12 months put on their traditional Japanese bridal gowns and straddle these totemic tools, and they go riding through the streets celebrating. Now, I think this is funny. Hodari translates in our language as male genitals, but if it's spelled out in caps, it means ripening of rice plants. Good to know. Don't you think?
Fertility, rice, Yeah, right. I see that.
Yeah.
No, there was a show down in New Orleans like a couple of years ago, and one of the companies made a float and had their own little mini Mardi Gras parade, and they made a really large penis. But I bet these are better because, you have hundreds of years of Japanese tradition, and they have
Penis
nice stuff.
tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is just so, it is weird out of all the cultures. It is pretty surprising that it is Japan.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
they got some interesting personal conflicts, I think, about sexuality.
Well, but it's funny is they see it as I remember being in like 8th grade, seeing a Nat Geo kind of special of how in Japan they have these prayer gardens with like penis statues that the men pray on, and thinking that was absolutely like the funniest thing I'd ever seen. When you're that age, it's like junior high, so much fun. They've kind of got that side to their culture.
Right.
It's not out
But
front.
you can't show vaginas in porn.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I think is kind of weird is the dualistic, the woman who got arrested for her vagina kayak.
Oh, right. That's right. Right.
So, yeah, it's definitely a double standard.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So this is weird. Last night I was watching the news because my boyfriend was on. And they actually had him on to comment on the fact that the new liquor laws that will go in for Sunday sales starts in July, and Certix was open on Sunday. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. I guess just going for the free PR.
Well, but do you have any idea? Like, okay, a $2,000 fine is nothing to Certix.
No, but a month
of being closed in one of the busiest months of the year. That's a big deal.
Oh my God, have fun with no 4th of July business.
And think about what do you do with your employees for 30 days and whatever. I can't imagine that any free PR is going to be worth that loss if in fact that stands.
So there has to be a reason behind it that hasn't actually come out yet. I mean,
He just said, well,
maybe, I don't know. Perhaps, Colleen, you would understand the mentality of a business owner who likes to poke.
Well, but they get some crap, but not as much as we do. So you just have to be what's going through there. I mean, I was reading, I kept reading the articles because I'm curious, local, and I couldn't quite parse out what the point was.
Yeah. I just don't know. I at first, when I first heard it on Sunday, because we picked up the phone to call to see for sure if it was, and they were. I mean, we called over there and stuff, and I thought, well, it's a PR stunt. And then when I realized how draconian the punishment could possibly be, I'm like, wow, that was a really bad idea. Like a really bad idea. But anyway, so Carl was quoted as a local owner as to what he thought. So I'm waiting for the story to come on. And because I refuse to pay for DVR anymore, I'm thinking, how am I going to, because he was going to be driving and going to miss it. And so I held my iPad up to the TV and videotaped the news story. So which actually worked really well. Kind of crazy. I hope CBS doesn't come after me hearing this. But they had a story, they promoted it, so I wasn't sure. So I taped more than I needed. The story right before the one that he was in was a health department stains of concern.
I saw that, and I'm like, you know what? You would find more splatters in any hotel room in town. I mean, and folks are like, well, you don't clean enough to. Most of these places have leather sofas. You're going down. People, I mean, like, what did they expect? I mean, and then you places that have booze, and then you have, and then if you're doing it right, someone should be going in and cleaning it after each employee, but they might miss everything. And, obviously the people going there don't give a crap. And it's been the same, I mean, for years. I mean, I'm like, is this sort of to crack down before the Super Bowl? Because, it's going to make people very cranky if they don't have some place to go see a stripper if you're coming in for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I don't see the point of this at all. I mean, honestly, you could go to any hotel room.
Oh, I know.
I guess
and run a black light. I mean, honestly,
the ones with serve food, I could see a little more of an issue.
No, they never mentioned that nobody's jerking off in the kitchen. I mean, or it's
that you know of.
No, I'm saying that
that's everywhere.
We're talking. I'm saying it doesn't. I'm like, what was the point of this? I mean, there was no. It qualifies under
shocking semen at strip clubs.
I don't understand. So all I can think of is that there's a new hire or a new employee who has that is just that went out and did something without someone else knowing. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. There's no timing on it. There's nothing that's changed. Mm-hmm. There's no new anything. And it just, I'm like, it's a distraction from something else. Okay, we can't do anything about A, B, and C, but let's go to the strip clubs. I mean, it's like they use the adult businesses as they just throw it out there to just I consider it a distraction. I don't know what it's a distraction from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it's also kind of weird. Like there wasn't any kind of follow up. Like, okay,
well, they're not closed either.
Yeah.
Right. And was your concern like, right, is it supposed to be you're looking for health code violation or evidence of prostitution? In which case, why is there nothing about that in this story at all?
Yeah, yeah, just like, okay, so they did this. I mean, honestly, you could wander over to the bathroom at Macy's right now, flash a black light, and you're going to find it.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
It doesn't... Okay. The libraries over at the U. I mean, any place.
Well, you know what I kept cracking up thinking, because I know Frank Vassalero. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there. I can just see them when the rundown comes through and they're scanning through, merely going, I'm not reading that. Because he did the lead for it. I am not saying stains of concern. I mean, I can just imagine those two having a little marital spat prior to going on the air. I don't want to say it, you say it. You do it. You're a guy.
No, there's someone, I think someone overstepped their bounds because there's no point. Nothing's changed. Nothing's going on. I mean, look, I'm not, there's plenty of other ways to combat if there's any trafficking going on or this or that. I mean, and if you walked around with a black light, it's anywhere you're going to find us. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, Miss Megan brought some really awesome stuff to the table for this week. And this story that you found about porn sites getting more visitors each month than Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter combined. How'd you stumble across that?
That is insane. Actually, I'm going to do a little film review, if I may.
Oh,
because last night I was watching a documentary on Netflix called Hot Girls Wanted.
Okay.
And it is a lot about the essentially very amateur porn industry and a lot of these girls who are like 18 to 21 and how a lot of this is being filmed actually in Miami. And they go to Miami and they have a shelf life of about 3 months and then head home. It's actually a very interesting documentary, a lot about how attitudes on sexuality and have changed throughout society and how the consumption of porn has changed so much. But one of the first title cards of that documentary was that headline that online porn gets more, and it was combined. It's like Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter combined.
And when you think about how busy Twitter's been lately, that's amazing.
Right. It blew my mind. I was like, are you kidding me?
So you said that at like 10 o'clock last night.
Right. Because I was sitting on my couch and I'm like, what? I gotta look this up. But it was, and I guess it makes sense, but it was
because it doesn't
shocking.
take anything to just, one, for people just to put a camera in their bedroom or room or something like that and do it. And then for someone else, I can see sort of creating a space for people to come down. And
yes,
it's like renting a studio space.
It's like those tech incubators that they have, where it focused on this one guy. He was a producer in his house and he had like 5 girls or so at a time living in there, and he would like drive them to shoots, and they did cam model stuff, he had like a 5-bedroom house, full of rotating.
And I'm sure
ladies.
There's the male version of this out there. This obviously the show's not focusing on that because the word girls is in the title, but I can't imagine that doesn't exist too.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, some of the stuff, 70% of men watch porn compared to 30% of women. Agree? Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah, there's probably more women. But,
I would think
at least,
that would be higher.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it this: 70% of men admit to watching porn, and 30% of women admit to watching porn.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
We'll throw that word in. Admit.
That fixes it. Yep. The average time spent on a porn site is, guess, Colleen? Megan,
8 to 12 minutes?
12 minutes.
Okay.
You are so funny. Yep. Average viewer visits 7.5 times per month. Now, this is what cracks me up, though. So the average unique visitors to these different sites per month, let me run through these for you. Netflix, 46 million. Amazon.com, 110 million. Twitter, 160 million. All porn sites, 450 million. Okay. The only thing that beats it is YouTube, 800 million. So YouTube is, but they're probably watching porn on YouTube. Right? I mean, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So I don't know. I thought that was fascinating. And 2/3 of HR professionals say they have found porn on employees' work computers.
Right. Well, I'd say it's 100% maybe at our workplace, but
yeah, the searches at Fantasy Goose have to be hilarious.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, you guys just don't even go there, do you?
No,
because you guys are doing work stuff.
Yeah, we have to have it's really frustrating. My own, I had to switch when I email myself something. My default email was my work address, which kept going to my spam filter.
Right.
I have set it safe 1,000 times, but it still will go there, and it's just so frustrating. So I had to move my default to my default email when I'm looking at something on my phone and I want to send something. It's a different email.
It's funny. I thought it was interesting, the 12 minutes, because I hear that a lot. Or a lot of men that I have talked to tell me that they have a couple of, like, they've cut together. They have a couple scenes that they really like, and they cut together like a 10-minute video. And they're like, I just put in this 10 minutes, and it's exactly what I need.
It's my greatest hits.
Yeah, and that works. When I know folks, when they used to have booths, when there was still had VCRs and stuff like that, would just edit out everything and put a whole bunch of it on, in the manageable chunks, because they would notice that they would start something and they would always end at certain points. And now with digital, you don't have to worry about, people can just, move ahead, but same thing. But I've like I said, the majority, I know what folks, have I looked at our streaming site for a while, but I know it wasn't that, people would buy stuff, but I know how they're consuming it. Which was in, bits and pieces.
And that's the thing, is that at this point, like a lot of, in this documentary in particular, and I think a huge percent of online porn is now focused on the amateur, so to speak.
Yeah. And that's why there's no movies made that way anymore.
Right.
And that stopped 15 years ago.
Right.
As soon as everyone had the internet and could slap a computer and a camera in their house, that was the end of the amateur porn or adult films, or
we stopped carrying the DVDs because that's what they got on the internet. So that's why it's like, well, it's fine if you want the plot and the storyline and production and actual stars. That's what we're here for. So.
Yeah. I'm getting to the point, it's weird, and I didn't think I was going to jump this on board with all of this, but it's like when we made a move a couple years ago, and I had a full bookcase full of, stuff, and I donated almost everything except for my classics.